A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Proverbs 22:1. Welcome to another episode of the Resilient Masculinity Podcast. I'm your host, William, and today we're diving into the final episode of our third season, Season 3, How We Make Marriage Great Again. This 12th episode, we're talking about generations to come, exploring Christian inheritance, legacy, and long-term vision. We're going to start by reading a few passages of Scripture, and then we'll get into the discussion. Just like our cold open, we're going to read Proverbs 22:1 that says, "A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold." Proverbs also tells us in Proverbs 13:22, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous." These verses encapsulate the essence of what we're discussing today, the importance of leaving a legacy, not just material wealth, but of a good name and strong faith. Let's explore what it means to build a Christian inheritance that endures for generations to come. Investing with long-term generational wealth in mind. Building generational wealth is more than just accumulating assets. It's about stewarding those assets in a way that honors God and blesses future generations. The Bible speaks to the wisdom of planning and foresight. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but the fool gulps theirs down." G.K. Chesterton once said, "The true soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him." This quote reminds us that our efforts today are driven by our love for our family and future generations. Structuring your investments and estate wisely is a crucial part of ensuring that your wealth benefits your descendants. Proverbs 13:11 says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." This highlights the importance of patience and diligence within wealth building. We're not looking at get rich quick schemes or the newest fad. We're looking at what will build long-term wealth to the benefit of our family and to the glory of God. John Calvin emphasizes the importance of stewardship, stating, "We are stewards of the resources God has entrusted to us, and we must manage them wisely for His glory and for the good of others." Of course, in this perspective, John Calvin shows us how we are to structure our investments in our estate planning, not just for our good, but we must manage them wisely for God's glory and the good of those around us, or those we will be passing it on to. The glory of a family name. A good name and a proud family heritage are inevitable, or they're invaluable. Ecclesiastes 7:1 says, "A good name is better than fine perfume, and the day of death better than the day of birth." Building a strong family is part of our legacy. C.S. Lewis wrote, "There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind." This encourages us to build a family name as part of a larger, eternal story. Passing on the inheritance of faith. Perhaps the most important, and it is in fact the most important inheritance we can leave is one of faith. Proverbs 22:6 advises us to train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it. And this, of course, underscores the responsibility we have to teach our children not only about God, but about the true goodness and beauty of God. Pastor Douglas Wilson once remarked, "The future is not where my children are going, it is what they are. Teaching children the faith is about preparing them to carry forward the legacy of Christ in their own lives. We see that in Ephesians 6:2-3 that we are to honor our father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on the earth. This commandment ties our actions, and specifically how we honor our father and our mothers, not just our paternal mother and father, but also our forefathers and our foremothers. It ties our actions in honoring them to the blessings of God for generations to come. J.R.R. Tolkien, in his letters, emphasized the importance of tradition and continuality, stating, "Deep roots are not reached by the frost." We see that honoring our parents and teaching our children to do the same creates strong, enduring family legacies, where deep roots are not touched by the frost of a changing generation of clown world. Another crucial aspect of a lasting legacy is a heritage of service and generosity. Acts 20:35 reminds us of Jesus' words that it is more blessed to give than to receive, and the principle of giving and serving others reflects the heart of Christ and sets an example for future generations. C.S. Lewis captured this spirit beautifully when he said, nothing that you have not given away will ever be really yours." By modeling generosity and service, we teach our children the value of loving others as Christ loves us. Specifically, those we are called to love. The first order is our wife, then our children, then other members of our household, then those in the local congregation of fellow believers, then our fellow believers, and then our community, and then the world around us. As we reflect on these points, remember that building a legacy, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It requires intention, wisdom, planning, calculated risk-taking, and above all, faith in God. By investing wisely, structuring our estates, honoring our family name, and passing on our faith, we can create a lasting legacy and inheritance that glorifies God and blesses our descendants for generations to come. Thank you for joining me on not only this episode of the Resilient Masculinity Podcast, but finishing up our third season in this podcast and how we make marriage great again. I hope you found it encouraging. We're looking forward to 2025 to continue our great work. We're in the process of looking at what that may look like, what kind of topic we want to cover. So if you guys have any suggestions, comments, concerns, by all means, let us know. Like, share, subscribe, all the good things. And let's get out there. Let's make our marriages great again. Let's be men of God. Let's be men who take action, who plan our estates well for the future of our children, who love our children as a heritage to the Lord as we continue to fight against clown world and encapsulate the goodness, truth, and beauty of God in this fallen world. So until next time, gentlemen, thank you for listening. If you found it helpful, of course, again, like, share, subscribe. Let's love our wives. Let's love our children. Let's love our churches, our businesses, and our community. Let's take action and become the men we are called to be. Let's go out there and become men of God.